Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and today in our Strixhaven, a Curriculum of Chaos coverage, we're going to take a look at magic items. If you're just joining us here, please take a look at this playlist. We are putting all of our Strixhaven videos in one big super playlist so you can get all the deep dive information before the book even comes out. It's super easy peasy. Take a look. And if while you're at it, we're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we just hit 2,500, so that's amazing. So thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. But one of the biggest things we can do right now is share. Get these videos out in front of more people. I think we definitely have some room to grow for all these people that want to see the stuff. We just need to get it out there, get it in front of them, and share the knowledge. So help us out. Hit that 3,000. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so one thing that's super interesting here is that some of these magic items are for sale. This book has a table of costs for magic items. Now, I mean, magic item prices, people vary dramatically on these, on how much they think things should cost. And I think that's a fair wiggle room, right? So some campaigns, magic items are going to be very hard to get. Some of them, they're everywhere. So that makes sense. But in Strixhaven, magic items are everywhere, theoretically, right? This is a magic place, a magic school. There should be magic items. So I think it's fair that a lot of these prices are pretty low. I don't know. I don't know that it's appropriate to assign these prices to the game, to the larger game as a whole. Like, I don't know that these prices universally make sense for all of D&D. So I want to show you that pricing table. Then we'll walk through these items, and then at the very end of the video, there's one item that's not listed here in the main section. It's buried in the book itself. This item is a heavy story spoiler. So once we get close to it, I'll give you another notice, another warning. So if you want to avoid spoilers, that's when. But everything I'm going to show you up until then is just kind of normal stuff. But if you don't want to be spoiled, don't watch the end. But again, I'll let you know. So the book lists common magic items that aren't consumables at 100 gold each. Spell scrolls, first level, are 50 gold. And uncommon items here are all 300 gold. So for common items, we have a bottle of boundless coffee, a cuddly Strixhaven mascot, spell scrolls, of course, and a Strixhaven pennant. And then our uncommon items are primers. We have one for each school, and these are books that we'll take a look at. So these are all items that are, I think, generally accessible is the idea here in the school. Throughout the adventure, and no spoilers, but throughout the adventure, there are regular kind of magic items, like more uncommon and rare items, and some fancier ones. So you won't be without magic items. These are just some that are kind of available in the stock shop sort of thing. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at the common magic items, which, again, according to this book, are worth 100 gold. Bottle of boundless coffee, wondrous item, common. This metal bottle carries delicious, warm coffee. The bottle comes with a stopper, which is attached to the bottle by a little chain. Even when open, the bottle won't accept any liquid other than coffee it produces. The coffee inside is always comfortably warm, and none of the heat can be felt through the bottle. Each time you drink the coffee, roll a d20. On a 1, the bottle refuses to dispense coffee for the next hour. If you pour coffee from the bottle rather than drinking from it, the coffee vanishes the moment it leaves the bottle. So I mean, it's fun, right? Everybody wants unlimited coffee. I hope it tastes nice. I wonder if you'd be able to prestidigitate it, since it's like a magic item. Of course, I would allow it. Like, if you want hazelnut coffee, boom, there you go. I think it's fun. I think somebody suggested over on our Discord at discord.gg/FryMinis. I think it was over there. Somebody recommended maybe like a higher level version of this, that when you drink it, it can suppress a level of exhaustion for an hour or something. And I think that's pretty fun. But as it is, it's fun flavor. I mean, college and coffee, of course. Cuddly Strixhaven mascot, wondrous item, common. Representing one of the mascots of Strixhaven, this soft, tiny magic toy is perfect for cuddling. If you press it to your arm, shoulder, or leg as an action, The toy stays attached there for 1 hour or until you use an action to remove it. This toy can also be used to fight off fear. When you make a saving throw to avoid or end the frightened condition on yourself, you can give yourself advantage on the roll if the toy is on your person. You must decide to do so before rolling the d20. If the save succeeds, you can't use this toy again in this way until you finish a long rest. I mean, of course, people love plushies, so that's a lot of fun. I think that's really, really neat. But I think this is one of the most mechanically active common magic items, aside from something silly like a moon-touched longsword that somebody picks up just to avoid magic resistance. I don't know. I think it's neat. The advantage on fear, you have to use it like you're squeezing it for let's venture out into the dark. I think that's neat. And I love the mechanic. I wish this mechanic was used more often, that once you succeed with it, then you can't use it. So that way, if you fail, it's not wasted. It's not a one shot and you're, well, that was fun. So I like this mechanic. I'd love to see this in more things. Strixhaven Pennant, Wondrous Item, Common. This magic pennant bears the symbol of Strixhaven or one of its colleges, Lorehold, Prismari, Quandrix, Silverquill, or Witherbloom. While you wave the pennant, the symbol on it glitters, and the pennant sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. Okay, so speaking of Moontouched, here's an even weaker version of Moontouched, which is kind of strange. The Moontouched swords, they're magic weapons, so they get to ignore resistance to non-magical weapons, but they also shed 15 feet of bright light and then another 15 feet of dim light. And this is just 10 and 10, and it's not a weapon, but it still takes up a hand. So, I mean, it's strictly worse, but this is a flavor thing. I don't know. I just wish it matched at least. It's all right. It's all right. As a flavor thing, it's fun. Okay, so those common items, those are fun. I love common magic items. I wish we had more. I think common magic items are a really great way to give your players magic items, but things that aren't going to kind of break the bank when it comes to power scaling or anything. You get little utilities out of it, a little bit of flavor, and they're just fun to get, right? So I'm all for common magic items, even if they're weirdly worse than other common magic items. Okay, so now these are the new, like, kind of real magic items. So these are all uncommon. They're all attunement. There's one for each school or college, so there are 5 of them. We're going to walk through the Lorehold version just because it's alphabetically first, to kind of explain the whole template, and then I will show you the versions for the other schools. Lorehold Primer, Wondrous Item, Uncommon, requires attunement by a spellcaster. The Lorehold Primer is a magic textbook created at Strixhaven's Lorehold College. The primer has 3 charges and it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. If you make an intelligence history or an intelligence religion check while holding the primer, you can expend 1 charge to give yourself a 1d4 bonus to the check immediately after you roll the d20. In addition, if you study the primer at the end of a long rest, you can choose 1 first level spell from the cleric or wizard spell list. Before you finish your next long rest, you can cast the chosen spell once without a spell slot if you're holding the primer. Your spellcasting ability for this spell is your choice of intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. Okay, first of all, can we just stop with the 1d3s? like, come on. Just do 1d4. I don't think an extra charge here is going to hurt anybody. And you can figure out how to do it with the d6 or whatever. But just come on. Just do the 1d4. All right, so you see how we have that intelligence, religion, and intelligence history check. So each of these is going to give us 2 different skills that we can apply this D4 bonus to, this kind of like mini bless to. So each one is going to vary, and each one is kind of thematic for that school. And these skills align to the background of each college. So for example, Lorehold here, religion and history, those are the skills that you get proficiency in from your background. And if you want to learn more about the backgrounds, check out our background video. And then those spells, those 2 classes that you can pick that spell from, those also align to the spells that you can choose from the Strixhaven Initiate feat per college. So it's really reinforcing the identity of that college. I think it's really neat. I think it's a nice little boost. You know, it's kind of here's a little bit of flavor of that college. One key thing here to note is that you don't learn this spell. So a lot of feats nowadays, when you get access to a spell, you learn that and you can cast it with your spell slots. That's not the case here. You just get a one-time casting with it. So I think that's fine. It's an uncommon item at the end of the day, right? So I could see these being used in campaigns that aren't Strixhaven related. So a lot of the backgrounds, a lot of the feats are very heavily tied to Strixhaven and could potentially change the level of balance for certain characters in other campaigns. So I wouldn't be shocked to see the Strixhaven backgrounds not available for players in non-Strixhaven campaigns. But I think these are totally cool. I would absolutely allow these in any kind of campaign. And even if you wanted to reflavor them as not Strixhaven kind of thing, but just like a magic book, I think that's great. And it's nice that you get to pick the spellcasting modifier. I think that's just a generous little touch. Okay, so that structure, the 2 skills that you can do the D4 with, the 3 charges, 1d3 recharge, the spell that you can cast once per day, basically with 2 class options. That structure is going to apply to all of these. So I'm not going to read every single one again. I'll have it on screen here, but we're just going to address which ones you get with which schools. So again, with Lorehold Primer, you get access to Religion and History, and then Cleric and Wizard spells. Prismari Primer, we're getting Dexterity Acrobatics and Charisma Performance, and access to Bard and Sorcerer spells. Our Quandrix Primer, we're getting Intelligence Arcana and Intelligence Nature, and access to Druid and Wizard spells. Silver Quill Primer gives us Charisma Intimidation and Charisma Persuasion, and access to Bard or Cleric spell list. Witherbloom gives us Intelligence Nature or Wisdom Survival skills, and access to Druid and Wizard spell list. So I think those are super cool. I think it's a great structure, power level wise. Like, I think those are really great examples of uncommon magic items that require attunement. Now, I would not be surprised to see a lot of people that get access to the wizard spells just pick Find Familiar if you don't have access to it another way. Find Familiar remains one of the best spells ever. You just get so much utility out of it, and I mean, it lasts all day, right? So you're good to go. You can keep it constantly active unless it happens to die. But if your DM is killing your familiar and you're not doing anything crazy with it, well, I don't know. Maybe have a heart-to-heart on that one. Okay, so right now, this part, I'll give you a hand wave here when we're gonna go into the spoilers. So this is a plot item that's very important to the plot, and we're covering it here. I don't like to do story spoilers generally, but one of the things that happens with things like D&D Beyond is when that gets transported into D&D Beyond, when a book does, they just kind of farm out all the items, and so you'll just see this item just kind of sitting there. So that's why I wanted to cover it, because you might see the name somewhere and you're like, oh, okay, what's that? So this is a spoiler thing. If you're dropping off now, thank you for watching. Check out the playlist. Please like, please subscribe, and please share. We're rushing. We're trying to get that 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We've got a month left. I think we can do it, but we need your help to do it. Okay, so right now, this is your last warning for spoilers right here. Okay, here we go. Spoiler zone. Spoiler zone. We're in the spoiler zone. So if you're going to play this, don't cheat. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But if you're the DM or you don't care, here we are. Okay, so this is called Mergaxor's Orb. So this is a magic item that is kind of very... I'm still trying to be light on the story spoilers, but this is very important to a very important NPC in the adventure. So if you see something called Mergaxor's Orb, be careful. Mergaxor's Orb, wondrous item, legendary, requires attunement. Roiling green mists fill this glass orb, which the exiled Strixhaven mage Mergaxor once used in foul magical experiments. Mergaxor's spirit has infused the orb, which he uses to spread a terrible curse among Strixhaven's students. All right, so are you are you kind of picking up where we're headed with this? It's bad news. So if you want to back out now because you don't want any more spoilers, I understand. But now this item also has sentience. Mergaxor's orb is a sentient, chaotic, evil magic item with the following properties. The orb has an intelligence of 20, a wisdom of 16, and a charisma of 16, as well as hearing and dark vision out to a range of 30 feet. The orb can speak, read, and understand common, and it can communicate telepathically with any creature touching it. At any time during your turn, the orb can cast the Suggestion spell, DC 17, targeting you or another creature that touched the orb within the last 24 hours. This isn't a power of the orb that you control. Okay, so this is an evil, sentient orb that is going to target you, the person attuned to it, and make you do whatever the DM wants if you fail. So good luck. And this is one of those things that I wish, it's like, I think like a downside of playing online is you just, add the item to your inventory. But if you're like, maybe as DM, you don't give the players the whole item. So that way you just hit them with this suggestion. I don't know if that's fair, but I think that's like a fun kind of silly aspect of the game sometimes. Curse. Any humanoid you touch while holding the orb must succeed on a DC 10 wisdom saving throw or become cursed. Each creature cursed by the orb bears an echo of Mergaxor's hateful thoughts, and that creature suffers from headaches that are persistent but not debilitating until the curse ends. On your turn, the orb can use an action to produce one of the following effects, targeting one or more creatures it has cursed. I'm still trying to stay away from major story spoilers, but this orb could impact a lot of people. Unconsciousness. The cursed creature falls unconscious for 1 hour. The creature is roused if it takes damage or someone uses an action to shake or slap it awake. Visions of terror. The cursed creature sees terrifying visions, causing it to view all creatures that aren't also cursed as dangerous monsters for 10 minutes. The cursed creature must use its action each round to make one attack against the nearest non-cursed creature. If the cursed creature has multiple possible targets, it attacks one at random. The effect ends if the cursed creature is incapacitated. After either of these effects ends, the affected creature is no longer cursed. The curse can also be removed from a creature with a remove curse spell or similar magic. All cases of the curse end if Mergaxor's orb is destroyed. So you might say, with all of those wild effects, that this cursed orb could maybe cause some chaos in this book called A Curriculum of Chaos. Wink, wink, wink. Magical signature. As a side effect of the orb's curse, the spell Detect Magic reveals an aura of enchantment surrounding a creature bearing the curse. This aura is distinctive, but in a way Detect Magic offers no further details about. Destroying the orb, Mergaxor's orb has AC 18, 20 hit points, immunity to necrotic, poison, and psychic damage, and resistance to all other types of damage. If reduced to 0 hit points, the orb shatters. Okay, there are your spoilers. So Mergaxor's orb, be on the lookout, I guess. Shenanigans afoot. I think it's neat. I think items that have such like wacky kind of effects can be really cool. And I'd love to see somebody just kind of like sprinkle this into a random campaign that has nothing to do with Strixhaven and just mess with people. I think that could be fun. But okay, so those are the magic item, the new magic items. There are other things. There's like there's a Mace of Terror or something in there, Mace of Smiting, all sorts of other things. Those are just the new items or the items available for sale. So what do you think of the book? Let me know. And again, please share this video, get it out there, post it on Reddit, post it on Facebook, get it everywhere. We need eyeballs, please. Please. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.